This is episode 97 of Real Occult, where we apply numerology and astrology to the material world. Earlier today, I was talking with one of my free community members about this self-help, self-development program they were going through for their work over this past weekend. And this free community member, they're like 27 or 28. And my community is the first spiritual learning that they've ever really done. And this self-development program is the first self-help type of book, course, program that they've ever been in or ever been a part of. And so talking to them about how the weekend went, what they learned, what were their takeaways, what were some of the takeaways of the rest of the class, the rest of the group. And they ended up asking me and telling me about some of the little events and activities that they participated in. When I said I wouldn't have participated in the one activity they described, they were completely shocked. They said, "Oh, well, if you didn't want to do that, then you would have been asked to leave and would have forfeited the cash for the last day and a half." It was like a 5-day event thing. And I said, "Yep, that's fine. I would have just left, no questions asked, and forfeited the cash. No problem." They were so blown away and shocked that that was my answer, especially given the fact that I do what I do. I use numerology and astrology, and we give guidance, and we do help people with these types of tools. And we go back and forth, and I explain to them how they are, for the first time, dipping their toes into these waters. So all of the lessons that they're able to take away from their experiences are all going to be seen through the lens of the beginner. For myself, I started reading Hindu, Taoist, Middle Eastern philosophy when I was 14. And then I go to a Christian college to play hockey in the South. I go to the South to play hockey at a Christian college with this whole Eastern philosophy background that I just naturally was drawn towards and dove into head first. And on top of that, I started my first little business in high school, been immersed in the self-help, self-development space for almost 2 decades now. And so I was telling them how, given my experiences up to that point in time, the lesson for me is not a beginner lesson of ego death and releasing control and letting go and detaching from the conscious desires that come with the material world and all. Like, that's not the stage of development that I'm in. My test, I would have spent that cash to have been tested on whether or not I'm going to stand up and hold my personal boundary with money on the line. So me forfeiting the last day and a half of the program to maintain my personal boundary would have been the lesson and the takeaway for the cash. And it would have been worth it. That would have been my lesson. That is my takeaway. I will maintain this new boundary with money on the line. And I know I will because I just did, and I would have forfeited the money to walk away from the activity. Whereas for them, they're a beginner. They're being guided through the activity. And I told them, I said, I'm super proud of you that you did it. You got uncomfortable. You went along, you followed the program. You did it because it is the exact experience you needed as the beginner. For me, that's not something that would have benefited me. I would benefit more from walking away, maintaining the boundary with money on the line. And so this idea, this concept extends across everything. If you're a beginner, how you, for example, in a business environment, the way a millionaire approaches spinning up a new sales team is going to be entirely different than the way a first-year sales manager would spin up a brand new sales team. And they're supposed to. It's okay. You are where you are because you're supposed to be there. We're taking these experiences as they come to us because every experience is simply the stepping stone to the next. So the best concrete example of this that I can give, that I like to give, is the Olympics. If you go to the Olympics and you gold medal, amazing. That's not the end of your story, though. Are you the 20-year-old gold medal Olympian who comes back the next year and doesn't even qualify for the team? Because that's a story. Are you the gold medal Olympian who comes back and repeats 2-3 times and you're a 3-time gold medal Olympian? Because that's also a story. And now you have the story of gold medal Olympian gets there, wins, gets hurt, now becomes the greatest coach of all time in that domain. They're like the winning of the medal, or let's say you're the favorite to win the gold in your first Olympics, the 20-year-old all-star, and you don't even make the podium. Well, what happens next? Do you come back the next year and set a new world record? Because that's a story. Or are you the favorite who didn't make the podium and never even qualified for another Olympics? Or are you the favorite who didn't make the podium and then you quit the sport forever and never showed your face again? All of those stories are possible based on whatever the outcome is. And then the outcome of that is simply a stepping stone to the next thing. Just like this lifetime is simply a stepping stone to the next. And so there are some people, multi-generations of professionals in a single domain. That's a story. And so, the whole point being, I was gonna share something else, but we're gonna get off track, and it's gonna kind of leave the topic of this video, or not this video, this recording, because I'm not even doing video on this one. And so, the main takeaway before we get off track and this thing turns into a long one. We're gonna keep it short. I'm gonna wrap it up here. The main takeaway: we all are starting in a different place, and we all want to end and choose to end in a different location because we all have different desires. All of those examples, all of those possibilities with the Olympics and Olympian outcomes, they're all okay. The gold medal favorite that doesn't even podium, who walks away from the sport forever, that's okay. That's your choice. That's the trade-off you make. There's nothing inherently wrong with that decision if you're willing to accept the consequences of the trade. And so we all have different end destinations that we're willing to make trades to end up at, and we're all starting in a different place. So it kind of, the whole conversation made me realize just how unique every individual person's starting position really is. And it's such a cool thing because it's supposed to be. And so wherever you're at, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. The universe has given us these experiences because we need them. And this whole game, this is all just part of a bigger deal that we're worried about this lifetime because we're in it and we're living it. And we're in this day to day. But bigger picture, this whole lifetime is just a stepping stone from the previous and into the next. So maximize what we're given is all that we can really do. And so be grateful for the starting point you have. Be grateful for the gifts you've been given. Lean into those edges. The universe is on your side. The universe wants you to win. I also want you to win. If you are interested in the free community, you could check it out. The link is in the description. Just click the link, school.com/real occult. The universe is on your side. The universe wants you to win. And I will talk to you again soon.